It's time for reading. And for reading, we always start off with our essential question. And our essential question is, what ideas can you suggest to protect the environment? A couple of weeks ago, we celebrated Earth Day. And I know many of you came up with different ideas about the earth and what we can do to protect the earth and things that you could recycle or reuse. That was one of your assignments during Earth Day week. So I know that you have thought about this in many ways, and there's lots of ideas that we could share. That's probably what I miss most, is the opportunity for you guys to share and to learn from each other. But we'll continue on, and we have a vocabulary, and the first word we have is environment. Environment is everything around us: people, plants, animals, air, water, soil. It gives us what we need to stay alive. And the second word we have is protect. To protect is to keep something safe. Normally I have my cards, but again, my cards are over at school, and when I made my move, I'm not quite sure where they're at. So we'll just have to go with sharing the words environment, protect. And that brings us to our story for this week. And our story is called Panda Kindergarten. Looking at this book, do you think it's going to be a fiction story, or do you think it's going to be an informational text? Well, as I look at the cover, I see actual pictures of pandas, real pandas. So that gives me a hint that this is probably going to be an informational text because it's showing us real pictures. Now the key is, when we start reading it, is it going to tell me real information? Panda Kindergarten. One panda cub is a sight to see. Two panda cubs together is rare. But imagine seeing 16 young giant pandas all at once. Meet a panda kindergarten class at the Wolong Nature Reserve in China, where pandas are protected, loved, and given great care. Each cub is born in a cozy room on a soft bed of straw. A newborn cub is fuzzy and pink. After a few weeks, it starts to look like its black and white mother. An ever so big mother panda carries her ever so tiny baby, holding it firmly but tenderly. She guides her new cub, which cannot see her, to rest on her broad furry chest and drink her fresh milk. All the young cubs are watched over by their young mothers and by kind, trained people. Pandas often have twins, but a mother can care for only one cub at a time. The other twin needs to be fed and kept healthy and protected in a nearby panda nursery. As the small bears grow, the skilled and helpful people and the mother panda swap cubs, so each twin gets constant care, and both share time with their mother. With such a loving team, each panda cub grows and grows. Slowly its eyes open wide, and it begins to see its mother's furry face and other faces full of smiles. When the panda cubs are big enough to leave their nursery and their mothers, they are ready to have new adventures and to make new friends. In Panda Kindergarten, here come the kindergartners. Look at them go. The young pandas have their own panda playground, full of places where cubs can swing and climb and play with their new friends. Pandas that play together may learn to be comfortable with each other as cubs and as adults. In their outdoor playground, the curious cubs learn exciting things about their world. They discover snow is cold and very slippery. Pandas always find new ways to play, like tugging and tearing and touching their toes. To a panda cub, almost anything can be a toy. Bolder and stronger, cubs try new things, climbing high and dangling until it's time for lunch in the panda kindergarten. With so much to do and so much to discover, lively little bears start feeling tired and sleepy. It's time for cubs to take a nap. The young pandas will be together in panda kindergarten for about a year. As they grow older, some will stay in their safe Wolong home and have cubs of their own. One day, some may be chosen to leave and live in the bamboo forest in the tall, misty mountains nearby. Then the rare pandas born in Wolong would roam free and wild, able to use the skills they learned when they were small. Learning from each other and from the people who care for them, the pandas born in Wolong are on a special journey that gives hopes to pandas everywhere and to all who love them. All right, did our story give us real information? It did, so we would call this an informational text. I'm going to turn and look in my reading manual. The next thing we want to talk about is the main topic of our story. So what was this story all about? Shout it out at home. What was this story all about? It was about the Wolong Nature Reserve, and they were protecting the pandas, and they were raising the pandas that they had in their preserve. And so that's what our story was all about. That was the main topic. But then you have the details to your story. What were the details? What did we learn about? We learned about when a baby panda is born. We learned that many times pandas have twins and they can only take care of one panda at a time. So the people that are at the nature reserve, they're taking care of the other baby panda, and they're switching them back and forth so that they have time to spend with their mom. We also learned that as they grow older, they need to be outside and play, and they need to learn new things. And how do they learn new things? They're learning from each other. Whenever I read this story, I always think of you guys, because when you come to kindergarten and you learn so many new things, and a lot of the things that we learn are from our friends. We learn from each other, just like the panda cubs were learning from each other. All right, I'm going to put my story down. And this week, we have no new letter, no new sound to work on. This is just a review week. So I'm going to pull out my high frequency word cards to go through, and then also some of our CVC word cards. So here's my first high frequency. Where. Good. Who. Look. Come. Does. Now we have our high frequency word cards, and these are all working with the long sound. This one, cape. Make. Tape. Name. Tame. More. Soar. Rope. Hole. Cone. Dime. Fine. Time. Dive. Mile. Cube. Cute. Mute. Fuse. Heat. Meat. Seed. Eat. Weed. Jeep. Keep reviewing. In the next week or so, I'm going to put some more videos on YouTube that are just going through those CVC cards and all of our high frequency word cards from the year. And these would be great to look at even throughout the summer so that you keep reviewing those words. And it's so important that you can recognize them and being able to read them on a flashcard, but also that you can recognize them when you're reading a book or when you're writing, you're able to write them on your own. All right, that's it for today.